everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in to me, and I appreciate all of the love I've been getting, all of the support. Okay, so today this topic just might get a little juicy, so I got me a little cup of wine. Okay, a cup of wine, because this topic is really gonna get juicy. So let me take a little sip and then we're gonna get into it. So today I just basically wanted to talk about colorism and basically being dark skinned, what it's like being dark skinned, what has this experience been like throughout my whole life. Honestly, I feel like being dark skinned has really made me a strong person, because being dark skinned, you really go through a lot. Being any skin tone, you go through a lot, but being dark skinned, you go through a lot from the fact that you're dark skinned. You go through a lot, you know, literally because of the tone of your skin color. Yes. So we can just start with just being a child and being in school, elementary school. Okay, elementary school is bad for a lot of people. Okay, it's bad for a lot of people, but being dark skinned in elementary school, it's like that is an automatic target. And especially being in a predominantly black school, I always, well, for the most part, attended predominantly black schools. Well, I went to one school from kindergarten through 8th grade. It was a charter school, and mainly black kids, and my experience was really bad. Honestly, I noticed that with a lot of bad things in my life, I honestly block them out. So I can't remember like a lot about people picking on me, but I do remember just always just being called black, being called, oh, you not just black, you're so black, you know. And all the way up to high school, just people finding it funny to pick fun at my skin tone. And it's crazy the fact that I grew up in a household with my mom and my dad, and like I had two encouraging parents. So it's crazy the fact how big of a toll it took on me, even though I had two parents at home telling me you're beautiful, you know. Like it was still hard for me to believe that I am beautiful with the dark skin tone, you know. And like, for example, my dad, he absolutely loved how dark I was. He loved, you know, he loved black people. So he loved, oh, I got a daughter who got, you know, this skin tone, like this darkness, this, you know. I feel like it's like a statement, like I got this dark daughter I love. And he used to, when I was a kid, he used to put me on his shoulders, literally on his shoulders, until I was like 5 years old. Like literally put me on his shoulders, like, because he wanted to show me to the world. Like he loved the fact that he had a dark skinned daughter. But it was still hard for me to believe that I was beautiful, even like until pretty recently. It was hard for me to get over the fact, well, see myself as beautiful because I am dark skinned, you know. It's literally something that you grow to hate. And not only that, being around people, it's like, you, especially when I first started dating and just being around different people, and like meeting people through Instagram, stuff like that, it was just something that I would be scared, because I would sit there and hope and pray, like I just hope that they don't bring up my skin tone, literally. But 9 times out of 10 people would bring it up, like, you so black. And it's really sad, like, because at the end of the day, we're all black, we're all the same race, honey. So you're calling me black, but we're the same race, you know. So it just shows the division and it was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard just dealing with being so dark, and you know, especially in a community who was taught to hate each other. Okay? No matter how much my family tried to uplift me and make me feel beautiful, make me feel, you know, like a queen, I still felt like I can't be, you know, because when you're around your peers and stuff and they're making fun of you for the same thing that your parents are saying you're so beautiful for, it's like, you guys have to be lying to me, you know, like, that's how we all are as kids. No matter how much your parents tell you something, it's like, you just my mom, you just my dad, like, you just telling me this, you know, like, it's like you don't really believe it, especially with being picked on about it day in and day out. Like, literally, I got picked on for being dark skinned from elementary school all the way up to high school, literally, like, and you would think in high school people got a little bit more sense now and not, you know, not really focused on something so stupid like and demeaning to our own selves, because of course it was always black people to say it. It was never white people. It was always black people to say it. And when I was in high school, it was like mixed, more white people, you know, so I was around white people, and like I'm saying, it was always the black people to say it, and which is very sad. Make jokes about just the fact that I'm dark skinned. I wanted to talk about how even in the music industry, listening to music growing up, you know, you always heard music idolizing lighter skinned woman, red bones, that type of stuff. So that it was even more of a reason for me to be like, you know, even celebrities don't want a dark woman. So, and that's the people we all look up to. So, I must can't be that attractive. And that's basically the next thing I wanted to get into. I wanted to talk about basically how all throughout my life, I always felt like lighter skinned women were seen as more desirable, and you see that even today, and not even just women, because even on the other hand, men, you know, because nowadays everybody has that desire for mixed kids and stuff like that. Even myself, at a certain point in time, I used to think like, I don't want kids that look like me, because I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. I want my kids to be like, and I used to think things like that, but not anymore. But I used to, literally, because, you know, it's what we're surrounded by, and I just didn't want them to go through the same thing that I did, because it was so horrible. I'm trying to tell you, really horrible. Being around people, I used to think about it all the time, and I used to just hope that somebody didn't say something to me, and like when they did, it was just like, oh, like they said the one thing that just cut, you know, that cuts really deep. I always felt like lighter skinned women were more desirable, which they are. In the media, you rarely see darker skinned women being portrayed as beautiful, being portrayed as anything other than, you know, just manly, loud, ghetto, you know, those type of things. It's one of those things where it's like people will make you feel just because you have a dark skin tone that you're automatically unattractive, and that's just crazy. But then you get those people who say, oh, you're pretty for a dark skin, and it's just like, when you try to address them like that's colorist as fuck, then they're like, it's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that, and well, how did you mean it? You know, stuff like that should never come out of your mouth, you know. And not only that, but a lot of times, okay, I said that lighter skinned women are more desirable. Okay, yeah, darker skinned women are still desirable, but they wouldn't be able to see themselves in a relationship with me, but would be able to see themselves in a bed with me. And that's just very twisted, and it's something that would really do something to me. Like, you know, it was just very hard dating, especially in teenage years and stuff like that, because it's like, I don't even see myself as that beautiful, and I'm dark. So like dating, You know, you even have some guys who quote unquote like you or are trying to talk to you, and they would call you, oh, you black. Like, what? Like, this doesn't make no sense. I wanted to farther back up this statement of, you know, being wanted in a sexual way, but not romantically, but in the media not being portrayed as beautiful. Like, I just learned about this reggae singer named Patra, and she was a darker skinned woman, and she was a reggae musician, and she was popping in like the 1990s, and she just all of a sudden disappeared from the scene. And I was watching something, and they was saying like, what happened to Patra? And honestly, for one, when I seen this woman, I was just like, wow, like, she's beautiful, for one. And for two, I wish that I've learned about her sooner, you know, because all of my life I just looked up to people who don't look anything like me, and here's this talented woman, sexy, beautiful, dark skinned, and I never knew anything about her until, you know. But basically they were trying to figure out what happened to her, why did she disappear from the scene, and what they said was apparently it was rumors going around that she was sexually assaulted. And yes, all women have the ability to be sexually assaulted, but that farther proves my point that a man won't want you in a romantic way, but just sexually, simply because you're dark skinned, you know, and not even see you as beautiful simply because you're dark skinned. And it's just very sad. This shows the self-hate in the community that we have. It's like you want a black man, but then it's like, does a black man want me? You know, like, a black man a lot of times, you know, goes for a lighter woman, goes for a woman that do not look like us. So it's a difficult, crazy, because like I said, it's just men in our community, because when you literally talk to men who are white, or men who are just different from us, they literally, when it comes to a dark-skinned woman, not just any black woman, but a dark-skinned woman, me personally, my experience, they literally act like they fetishize you. And that is so crazy, because they literally see the beauty that black men have been taught so deeply to hate, you know. So other races will see, oh damn, she beautiful, but a black man can't even see his own beauty, so a black woman he damn sure ain't seeing her beauty. Like, for example, look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson always was a handsome man, but being in the music industry broke him down, because he wasn't dark skinned, but he was just black, you know. And it was to the point that he lightened his whole skin. And that's another thing I come to talk about, like skin bleaching. That's something very popular, and a lot of women in other countries, they skin bleach because they are so ashamed for being dark. It just shows how this world has an obsession with skin color, okay? And you even have artists, darker skinned artists, who are being told that they will never be as successful as their lighter skinned counterparts. And not only are they told that, but it's deemed to be true, because like I just said, growing up, I never really had many dark skinned artists to look up to, dark skinned people in the media to look up to. So that is definitely true. Like, darker skin, it's not that they're not as successful, but darker skinned women are just not as pushed as a lighter skinned person. Honestly, how I was able to overcome this was just learning more about myself, learning more about my roots and where I come from in Africa, you know, before the Americas, before the slaves. And in Africa, honestly, they idolized the womb because the womb was responsible for all life. But the thing about it is, they did not only idolize the womb and the woman, but they idolized the man and the woman. They idolized duality. So that helped me to, overcome this hatred, self-hatred. People ask me all the time if I am African. And it's kind of funny because you ask me am I African, but we were the first people, so we were the first people, so you're African. Like, you're asking me you're African. Like, what type of question is that? If you want to be really technical, like, yeah, I was born in America, but shit, I'm not claiming this. I'm not even really from here. None of us is really from here. So what type of question is that? But it's a type of thing of unknowingly being ignorant. Also made me realize, and this is what also helped me overcome it, is I just realized that I have a lot of African features, and I am close to the ancestors. Okay, so that is also something that just helped me get through it and helped me to love myself more and love my skin more. It just shows how being in America and being in the United States, we were really stripped of who we were, who we were and who we are, and made us to idolize lighter skin more, aka white skin. So the closer you are to white, the more people desire you. And that's because we're in America and we're under European doctrine. We're under European rule. So of course they're going to make you idolize them. Like, even our hair. Even, like, it took me a long time to love my hair. Even to this day, I'm just coming to more of a realization. I need to wear my crown more. I need to, because that's another part of loving yourself, loving your hair, and not always wanting to look like a European and that type of stuff, because it's just what we were binded to. We were kind of forced to love European looks, love European hairdos and that type of stuff, and not much of our own, because we were literally stripped of everything that we knew. We were stripped of our spirituality, our languages, our idolizations, our ways of life, everything that we seen as beautiful, and how we seen beauty, because honestly, beauty is not something that's on the outside. So that's something that a lot of people in this European rule has even got mixed up, because beauty is not the outside, and honestly that's how you find yourself somewhere that you don't want to be. And I had to realize that myself too, because when you fall in love with the outside of a person, you're not falling in love with that person truly, because that person, we're not our bodies. We're living inside of these bodies are a vehicle. So when you're falling in love with the outside, you're not falling in love with the soul. You need to find out who these souls are, not who they are on the outside. This is materialistic. Okay, this is deeper insight on my experience with being dark skinned, and how I overcame it. And I hope that this helps somebody out there, because this is something a lot of girls go through, because of where we lived in America. But thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today and listening to what I had to say.
Alright, and one last thing, I feel like it won't be right without me saying this, because I forgot to say it during the video, but I just wanted to let every black person out there know that you're beautiful no matter what skin tone you are. We're all beautiful. And your skin color does not define your beauty. Period.